In this video, we're going to see if we can bring this rusty old wood stove back to life. So stick with me and I'll show you how we're going to do it. So as I mentioned, we have this wood stove here. It's my cousin got it for about $100. Was sitting outside, so you can see it's covered in rust. So we actually want to clean it up and use it in our hunting cabin. So I'm going to try to get all this flaky rust off and go ahead and clean it up and paint it with some exhaust manifold paint. So I mean, it's nothing special. It's not like a vintage stove or anything. It is a, what does that say, Vogelzang? I've never heard of that before, but I'm no wood stove expert. But really underneath it's not too bad. You can see here I actually took my wire wheel to it a little bit and it cleaned up a lot of that flaky stuff, you know, up here and down there. So should clean up pretty good. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and set you up on the camera and put you on a time lapse and show you, you know, how it cleans up. So stick with me. So as you can see, the flaky stuff up on the top there cleaned up pretty good, in, you know, contrast to other areas I haven't hit yet. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of it. I won't bore you with all of that, but I'll bring you back in once I got everything touched up there. So stay tuned. All right, we got the wire wheeling done. I'll just go ahead and do a quick walkthrough around here so you can see. I mean, most of that flaky stuff came off pretty easy. Yeah, it's looking much better. So now what we're going to do is take some vinegar and rub it down all over the place to see if we can't break up any more of that stuff on the surface. So I'm going to go grab some vinegar, give it a spray down, and I'll show you how that worked. Alright, I've gone ahead and I sprayed down the top there with some of the vinegar, and I took my Scotch-Brite and worked it in and then wiped it clean with a towel. And you can see it's actually starting to come around. Some of that rust is going away. Some of the clear, or some of the you know, actual metal is coming out. You can see I did down here. That one's turning out really good there. So I'm going to work at this a little bit more, hit it with some vinegar, Scotch-Brite, wipe, you know, and so on, so on, so on, and keep working around, and we'll see what it looks like. So I know I'm not going to get all the rust off with this method, but I want to get it down to a point where I can get a good coat of paint on there. So I'll show you once I'm done. All right, here we are about 15 minutes and a bunch of elbow grease later, and here's what we came up with. As you can see, a good bit of that rust is now gone. We're just about done to the bare metal. You see a little bit of hint of brown on there from the rust, but for the most part, it's looking pretty darn good. So I'm going to throw a fan on this and let it let that vinegar dry out for an hour or so, just to make sure that's all dry before I go to paint it. But then I'll go and paint it. So now, really, this just goes to show you, you know, you can do this with a little bit of elbow grease. The best thing to do would probably to take this and get this sandblasted, but you got to work with what you got, and this is what I got. So I'm just showing you can do it on your own without having to spend a bunch of money on it. To this point, I'm maybe an hour and 15 minutes into it, and that's all it took me, just with some basic tools and things like that. So yeah. All right, I'll get that fan on there, get this thing dried out, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you how we're going to paint it. All right, we're back. So I've given it plenty of time to dry, so there's no wet vinegar on there anymore. And we're going to start the painting process. So what we're going to use is this Rust-Oleum high heat. Basically, it's a ceramic coating, ready for 2,000 degrees, and it's like an exhaust manifold paint. I've used it on my smokestacks on my tractors with very good results. It seems to hold up for a good amount of years. So we're going to go ahead and put a coat of that on this stove. So we'll show you the process as we go along here. All right, we got everything coated. I think it turned out pretty good. I think I mentioned in a previous video, but I used a matte black because I kind of like that finish. So yeah, I'll just give you a walk around here. I am going to get some more to do the inside, but the outside is pretty much done here. I'll probably get some more and actually do another coat on here too. But yeah, you're getting the general idea. So what I'm going to do after I get my final coat on is go ahead and pull this outside and light a fire in there and let it bake, get it good and hot before I actually use it inside here. So yeah, I'll bring you back once I go ahead and get more paint and get everything else painted here and show you lighting the fire up in there. So I'll bring you back in a while.